This is the 10 things we will be talking about today. I do have a hard time choosing these 10 because there's a lot of things within StocksCafe. Of course, this is not going to be the only event. I might do more talking about other things. If you have other features or tips you want to learn more about, please feel free to reach out through the survey. We will consider them for the next event. Okay, so connecting to Google, right? So I strongly recommend all users to use this. Go to your profile page, right? I hope you know how to find your profile page by account and click on profile, and then you're at the profile page, and you click sign in with Google. Then you can connect to Google with, connect to StocksCafe through Google, right? So once you do that, you will see that you're now connected with Google. That means that in future, you no longer need to enter your email and password. You can just use the Google login, right? I think this is very useful because now and then I'll get users telling me that, they forgot their password and they're all kinds of problem along that way. Of course, you can also disconnect it if you want to. For example, you want to switch to a different one. Okay, if I do that, then of course you have to log in again. Let's see demo. Okay, yep, that's the first one. That's very short, it's supposed to be short and quick. But okay, the second one, email settings, right? This is also a very simple thing, but I think it's very important. Especially the first one I'm going to talk about is the data backup, right? If you did not realize, you can actually back up your data through StocksCafe, right? So if you go to this regular export email, you check everything that you want. And on a regular weekly basis, StocksCafe will send you all your send you an email with all this stuff zipped and sent to the email that you have registered with StocksCafe, right? This is very useful because you might sometimes make a mistake, right? I have users who accidentally deleted their whole portfolio, right? And so if you do that, you can recover them easily if you back up your data, right? And of course, if you really did not do this and you need me to do it for you, it's possible. Of course, StocksCafe do back up our data regularly, but that's at a one-day interval, and it's not easy for me to do that. Also, I need to really go into the servers to pull them out and do it specifically for you. So do back up your data. It makes it easier for you and for me, right? Okay, the next thing is daily update email. I hope every one of you are enjoying the daily update emails. So you can choose when to send you the daily update emails, right? Like for me, because I invest mostly in the US and Singapore market, so I check these two, right? So basically, I will receive 2 emails every day if I choose end of every trading day, right? So basically, end of the SGX close around 7-8 p.m., I will StocksCafe will send an email to you. And even in the morning, after about 7 p.m. New York time, I think it should be about 10 or 11 a.m. Singapore time, you should also get another email, right? And you can also choose what kind of information you want to see, right? So these are the list of information you will see. You can choose, and then if you do that, maybe you'll receive an email regularly from StocksCafe that looks like this. Okay. Okay, the last one is you got paid email. Personally, I love this, right? So all you have to do is just check this, right? Check this dividend notification email. And so on the pay date, you will receive an email and say you've got paid, right? I love receiving this, right? Because it just means like I got paid just for holding the stocks and getting dividends for them, right? StocksCafe will tell you, of course, how much, break it down in the currency. And it also tells you in the upcoming 30 days, what are the dividends you can expect to receive, when are the pay dates, and just a calculation of like how much you have taken so far, for example. Okay, this is about the email settings. It's also very, very straightforward. The next one is portfolio and dividend settings. Okay, so for this one, what I want to talk about this one is, yes, portfolio settings, right? Like one thing about people investing in the Singapore market is that if you invest in Singapore market for, let's say, some some stocks that is not listed in USGD, for example, maybe Cromwell USD, I think. Yeah, so if you invest in those in SGD, but somehow your broker is paying you in SGD, right? They do the conversion. So you can actually just check this checkbox, receive the dividends in SGD for all SGX listed stocks, right? So no matter if they're paying HKD or SGD or USD, it will also always convert it to SGD for you, right? So that you don't need to do all the conversion yourself. So that one is for that. And of course, you can customize your current portfolio, right? I hope you all know that there's you can, let me show you how to go to this page, right? Like, so from this portfolio page, you can actually go to here, adjust display columns, right? You can choose, by default, which one you want to sort by. Let's say you want to sort by who the day change and descending, who earns the most money for you for the day. And let's say you want to see the number of shares in the second column, and move them around. And once you click update, you will go to this page and you will see that now, by default, it will sort by the day change. And you will also, you have seen the shares have become the second column, right? So this is, so you can customize what to see here, right? I hope a lot of you have been using that. Next, okay, this is the withholding tax, right? Of course, when we invest in, let's say, Hong Kong market, I think Hong Kong market, they charge 10% for China shares, but okay, for for US market, right, like it's always 30%, right? So you can just enter 30 here, and that's it, right? So every time you receive a dividend, StocksCafe will automatically compute for you withholding tax and reduce that amount. And so because for Hong Kong, I think only specific stocks will be, what do you call that? Yeah, only specific stocks will charge you 10% withholding tax. So you can actually go to, I'm not sure what particular stocks, but I just randomly go to Tencent. That's the ticker that I remember. Let's say you want to, for Tencent, you want to set a 10% withholding tax, right? So you can still come here and override. So this will be specific just for Tencent, right? So if you go back to the page earlier, on the withholding tax, you will see that the Hong Kong doesn't change, it's still 0, but Tencent, you show that it's 10%, right? So this way, StocksCafe will compute all the withholding tax for you. Okay, this is the third one. So next, let's go to the fourth one, multiple portfolio. Yes, right, this one. Of course, when we invest, I assume and hope that you use like multiple brokerages, right? Because of course, we don't want any of the brokerages to have any issues, but there's always a very small percentage of risk for that. And the way I encourage users to split your portfolio is by your brokerage or platform and by currency, right? At least that's how I do it. Like SC doesn't mean StocksCafe, it's Standard Chartered SGD, Standard Chartered USD, my SRS, Tiger, etc. And okay, for today's demo, I'm going to create one more, my CPF. And then, and of course, you can also do ordering. I'm going to put it right at the top. Yeah. Oh, another thing I would like to talk about is this active thing, right? Like sometimes users ask me, like, what does this mean? So if you read the description, I hope it's clear. It basically just means that the portfolio will not be deleted, right? Just that we will hide it in some cases. For example, let's say if I remove SRS, my SRS, right, and I save this, so it becomes inactive. So when I go to my portfolio, you will see that it will be at the bottom and it will be grayed out, right? And when I go create a transaction, it will no longer show here, right? My SRS is gone. Now, so because inactive, when you say inactive, you assume that it's a brokerage that maybe you already closed the account or whatever, you're not going to use it anymore. So we're just going to reduce that for the clutter for you, right? And so what happens is when some users, the funny thing is that they accidentally make everything inactive, right? They make everything inactive, then they say, oh, when I try to add transaction, I cannot add anything, right? You cannot see any portfolio. Yeah, that's the reason. Although now I believe I have put in some checks to prevent you from making every single thing inactive. Okay, number 4 is done. Okay, let me do the final one, and then we will do a quick break and check the Q&A if you have any question. So personalized financial pitch. Yes. So for this one, what we are doing here is, yes. So in StocksCafe, actually, we buy data from, come on, is this slow? Okay, good. So we actually buy data from Morningstar. So the data you see here should be reflecting whatever Morningstar has. And the thing is, you can also personalize what you want to see, right? So the personalize here is, if you can go to click adjust display. So let's say, I don't want to, I want to see, what do I want to see? I want to see the, oh, it's interesting, like a revenue per share. Do I have already there? The revenue per share. Yeah, I click enter, add metrics, so you can see that there's a revenue per share, and you let's say you want to see it at the top, you can drag it and put it at the top, right? And if you go back to the Apple stocks, then you will be able to see revenue per share. Okay, unfortunately, stocks doesn't seem to have revenue per share information there. Yeah. So yep, that's it for this feature. Okay, of course, I already show how to order them as well, right? So this is the second half. So portfolio allocation is another very interesting feature. At least I personally use it quite a bit. So you can do a few things here. Of course, you can look at how invested you are in different exchanges. Let's say how much you're let's say 73% UX and then like 26% in SG. So you can you need to click this to make sure you are choosing all the portfolio you have. Okay, it's still the same. Then right. Then you can decide, is this allocation what you want, or should you, invest a bit more in SGX? And of course, you can go by portfolio too, right? Like how much your different portfolio, how much they have, right? Their percentage, right? And I'm going to demo how to add new tagging, right? Like, so of course, all these grouping are predefined for you, but you can actually define your own grouping, right? So if you go to this new tag group, let's say I said dividend versus growth, right? I mean, yeah. You create a new tag group, and if you go in, so everything is unclassified because you need to tell StocksCafe the grouping, right? And so you click in unclassified, and then you can see all the stocks here, right? They're all unclassified. So you just need to, you can enter whatever you want, right? But you have to be consistent, right? So if I enter dividend, okay, of course, Apple is not a dividend stock. Maybe you say growth stock, and then Samsung, let's say you consider Samsung a dividend stock. You want to, I'm not going to do everything, but I'm just going to do a few, and then you can see how it is. Okay, and then the rest you have to do then. Let's say I assume this is growth stock, this is growth stock, this is growth stock, this is growth. Okay, all this should be dividend. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, and then you click save. Right, so then you can see. Okay, go back a bit. Yeah, so they have 64.8% is under growth, and it's 14.6 dividend, and still 20% unclassified. So if you continue to do what you've done just now, you will see everything become only the two tags. Of course, you can always create new tags as and when you want. And also, there's also a switch to cost base, right? So now it's based on the current value. You can also look at, based on the cost. It doesn't much change a little bit if you realize. From 14 to 16. Yep, that's it for this grouping. Okay, next one. Some common mistake. Okay. So as we enter transactions, of course, sometimes we make mistake, right? So StocksCafe do our best to warn you about the mistake, right? So for example, you can see like, what's this blocking me? Yes. So for example, you can see like this is highlighted in red, right? Like the price is highlighted in red. So at the bottom, actually, we explain, right? If price highlighted in red, that price is not within the high-low range, right? So if you look at it, like maybe in 17 August 2021, like I don't think Apple is so cheap, right? So this is a problem, right? But again, actually, highlighting in red doesn't mean anything. I mean, it just means that based on our checks, it doesn't seem to be correct. But if you believe it's correct, it's perfectly fine to leave it as 27.6, right? It's perfectly fine. So, but of course, I'm going to change it. Maybe I missed the decimal place. I should put 0. Yeah, update it. Yeah, now it looks good. Now it's white. Okay, so and then another one is a star, right? If it's the asterisk on the total, then you can read it. If total has a red asterisk, the total or FX might be incorrectly entered, right? So another big mistake people tend to make is the FX rate, right? So for example, 2,700 USD is not really 35,000 here, right? So that means we have entered the FX rate wrongly, right? Let's say I enter it to 1 USD is equal to 13 SGD. That's wrong. So you can actually just click on this, and then you will use that base exchange rate there based on given by our upstream data provider. Okay, and then you update it. Then okay, that's gone. Okay, so these are the 2 common mistakes. I mean, of course, there's still many other columns. I'm not going to show every single thing. Okay, so next question, next common mistake regularly people user came to me is about like why is there a stock with zero shares, right? Like, so let's go here, and so we go to 0. Okay, so I see PNG. Why is it 0 but it's still remaining in my current portfolio, right? So one way to check that is you go to the transactions and then just go search for PNG, right? Like, and then take a look. Right, and then you go here and then you take a look here. So you realize that actually the portfolio is inconsistent. So basically you're saying that you buy from this Tiger USD and then you sell on Standard Chartered as USD, right? So when you buy from one portfolio, you should always sell from the same portfolio, right? Once you do this, buy and sell from different portfolio, things like having the PNG 0%, 0 shares will be here, right? And of course, the simple thing to solve that is just change this to the correct portfolio, and now you no longer should see the PNG there, right? Let's see. Yeah, so it's no longer there. Okay, this is one common mistake that user make. Okay, so number 8. How to debug? Okay, this is also another interesting problem or thing that happens once in a while. So let's say suddenly I see my time-weighted return to be 300%, and I know it's not correct, right? I'm not such a successful trader, at least not yet, or investor, right? So 2 things can happen. First is the portfolio report might have some issues, right? So first thing I was basically, when the process of computing, or rather processing all your transaction and everything to generate this report, right? It can sometimes fail in between, right? For different reasons, the server went down, there's some invalid input or whatever reason, right? Or it's just too overloaded at that moment. So this might cause some issues. So all you need to do is just like click this button, update report now full, right? And if we compute, usually it will solve it. So I shouldn't have clicked that. So okay, and anyway, so if that doesn't work, right, then you can try the debug tool. Okay, I'm going to show where's the debug tool. If you go to here, account under, so you can see a debug. Okay, account, and the second last one, debug. If you go here, right, and you click on, because this one was a TW, time-weighted returns, that's kind of strange, right? So we are going to click on this, right, and we're going to check. We were looking at this. This one was the one that it was strange. So we will go into view details. So here it will tell you every single day what was the daily return, right? Like say from the first day you started, I mean the first day of the transaction for this portfolio, right? So you can actually even click into this, and you will tell you on that day, a firm gained 18%. Yeah, and that's why I guess you have some cash. That's why the total change for the day was this amount. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I don't. I think it's just because it's USD and then versus SGD. But anyway, you can see all the details, and you scan through quickly. Yeah, you will see that there's those highlighted in red. So basically, if you gain more than 30% in a day or lose more than 30% a day, I will highlight in red for you to easily check, right? So if you go into here, you will see that today the day change looks fine, but we will know that on the 30th of June 2021, something is wrong, right? So we can go into this page and search for 30th of June. Yeah, so you can see that 30th of June 2021. Yeah, again, the price is red, so we enter the price of Apple wrongly for that day, right? So I guess Apple should at least be like, the decimal place might be wrong. So I'm going to fix that. And okay, now it's good, right? So then after this, you have to go to portfolio report and then recompute the report. And then finally, you should see the time-rated returns to be back to normal. Yeah, so this one is showing updating is because we are computing the portfolio report right now. Yes. Okay, that's number 8. So number 9. Okay, this one is also very important. Actually, this one is one of the very important thing that I think many users ignore. Okay, so events, right? This events page. So if you see StocksCafe, there's a lot of small little red thing. It's just to tell you, like forum, there's somebody messaging you, or for this event, there's actually 3 events that you should handle, right? When I say handle, as in you need to accept or ignore, right? What you need to do here is actually you own. What is it telling you here is that you own Amazon, and on the 6th of June 2022, Amazon actually do a stock split, right? So your number of shares right now is too low. So you need to click on this pending, and all you need to do, so you can see. So if you click accept, what happens, right? We will actually help you do the stock split, right? It will sell away what Amazon you have and buy back so that you have 20 of them. Okay, so let's click accept and then let's see what happens, right? So once you click accept, it's a bit slow, I'm not sure why. Okay, done. Okay, so you can see that it actually created two transactions for you, and it came with the note that it's auto-generated, and it's a stock split of ratio of 20, right? So you will sell Amazon at the cost price so you basically, the good thing of this is that you calculate all this and then see what's the average price and buy back from 3 shares to 60 and do the split for you accordingly. So the cost is still the same, right? So 9,600, 9,600. Okay. So yeah, you can also, let's say for whatever reason you want to undo that, right? You can just go to whatever you accepted. If you click delete, actually those 2 transactions will be removed for you, right? Okay, let's see. Let's go to the transactions. Yeah, you no longer see that 2 transactions that was generated for Amazon, right? Let's just be very clear here. Oh, there's no. Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, there's no the transaction is gone. And then you can see that again, it's asking you, you need to make a decision, right? Of course, you can ignore it. Let's say for whatever reason you don't want to care about it, you can ignore it. Yeah. So this is how StocksCafe help you, support you in handling all the stock splits that's happening. And it's not just handling stock splits, you also can do M&A, right? For example, I think in last year, August, AMC actually gave out, on this page, if you click on decision, AMC actually give out additional preferred shares, right? The APE, right? So you can also click accept. So in this case, it will not sell away your AMC. It will just basically do another buy for you, right? At a price. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on. If you have any question, please ask at the Slido. Okay, this is the last one. 10:40. I think we are pretty good with time. Okay, it's custom assets, right? Like, so custom assets is one of the new feature that we added, and I personally like it a lot in the sense that in the past there's no way to properly and easily integrate everything into one place, right? So now you can integrate anything you want, right? Even exchanges we do not yet support, or even your CPF, right? Like, so here I'm going to demo how to create a CPF. So first of all, you need to go to this page, right? Where you can create a custom asset, right? So so one thing, so now notice that you can only create custom assets in the new interface, right? But most likely I will very soon create it also in the desktop version, basically means under StocksCafe, right? In this UI. Yeah. So anyway, you come here, you create a custom assets, you choose, let's say, CPF. Let's say you put my SA in, right? Like, so you put CPF, SA. And okay, I think this one doesn't matter. And let's just put this. Okay, of course, it's usually in SGD. Okay, I'm gonna put all those. Okay, add this asset. Okay, once you add it, then you can, either use that previous interface or this new interface. I mean, this old interface to go in there and say, okay, let's say, okay, I want to add transactions. So now if you search CPF SA, yes, it will show you. And let's say I want to, at the end of 2021, let's see, December, right, 30th. Okay, my CPF. Okay, here is where it might be confusing for users, right? So usually my recommendation is to keep it simple. Make every unit $1, right? So let's say you have 100,000 in your CPF, you will put 100,000 shares, and every shares is $1. So you will have $100,000 at the total. I think this one is the most important, right? Why we do that, I will explain a bit more later, but this will keep things simpler. Of course, you can do the reverse. You can put, I have one unit, but with 100,000 shares, but that is it's a bit more complicated, right? So it gives an arrow with the number of shares. So its number of shares just says that if volume is red, the volume is higher than the total volume traded. But of course, this is a custom thing, so we don't have to care. Okay, next. So usually on the 31st of December, we will get dividends, right? Not say dividends, interest, right? So for CPF SA, so you have to also enter that. So you have to go to dividends page, and you click on the override, and you will add a new collected dividend. Of course, it's interest, but it's basically the same. So you put CPF SA, and so I have 100,000 shares, right? Yeah. And okay, this one is not super important, but you want to put this on the third. I think this one, I can say you want to put this on here. So you put here, right? So you also put in this. And the payday is the same. And the HDD, okay, here, what is the per share, right? Like, so here is where it is easy if you put 100,000 because it's 4%, right? So I know it's 4%, I can have 4,000, right? So of course you can do all kinds of calculation to know how many dividend per share you will put, and then so that the most important one is the total should be correct. Okay, so if you click add, then you will see now that your CPF SA actually give you 4%, right? From that day. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think that is all. I'm gonna skip the part. And okay, so this is all. I hope all these 10. I hope at least you learned something today of these 10 features that I personally think that is pretty useful. Every investor that uses StocksCafe should know them. We have come to the end of this video. If you found it useful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Comment below if you have any questions or if there are any videos you'd like to see in the future.